Hey guys, how are you? Welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. I was just checking to see if I could see comments or not, and Shannon is here, so clearly I can. Hope everybody is having a. Oh, hey Jim, how are you? There we go. I was wondering if StreamYard was just being bizarre. Hopefully everybody is having a lovely weekend. It's been raining here all day, but it's been super dry in southern Wisconsin. So it's good that we're getting rain, but I wish it wasn't on a weekend. Did get a couple pieces of Happy Mail we'll run through and a couple other things, but well, should I mention? Oh, programming notes. Shannon will not be going live tonight as she has her grandkiddos. So feel free to check out one of her other videos. I bugged her about her Spellbinders color swatch videos, of which she has a couple. Because I was thinking, like, since they came out with the whole die set to swatch stuff, it would be kind of fun to do that. And because I am just terrible about like actually swatching my things. Like I've made whole mini albums with the purposes of swatching things and not done it. So, don't do as I say or do as I say, not as I actually do. But I've been making a bunch of these for a swap at my crop in a couple weeks. When I do swap cards, I like to leave empty space just so that like if the person wanted to make it, about a specific friend and they had die cuts hanging around, which we all do, or a stamp they really liked. These are going to be sort of white on white, like early spring Easter lily kind of vibe. So anyway, here's another one of them that's sitting on my desk. Hello, Paula. Hello, Lori. How are you? Again, we have fairly muted colors, but a lot of room to play with. So I just need to put together another 20 of those, and we will be good for my. And I got all my other things together. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Lori. Hello, Paula. It's good to see you all. I hope everybody is well. Hope you are all in positive spirits, or if not, I can hopefully lift your spirits a little bit. Hey, Blossom. Good to see you as well. And for people who aren't Blossom, if you figured out the surprise post, let's do a little game. If you can comment what my math reference is in the comments before I get to that, I will send you a little card or something. Anyway, I got a really surprising thing in the mail from one of my friends in Canada, but just look at how fantastic all these stamps are. I may have to say it, like, cut these out. Like, they actually, oddly, are very, like, the rose was canceled, but they really weren't canceled very much. Who knows when this is from? Canada has had all their various mail things, but we will see what we get. Jan has a tea channel and makes a bunch of stationery. This is American Greeting, so not one of her own creations, but she does like fantastic stickers and whatnot. And we have a nice message. Jan and her wife are sending us greetings, and we are hoping that in Canada they have fresh flowers. I would like fresh flowers. My mother keeps reminding me that it is March and one does not have fresh flowers in Wisconsin or in Canada in March. Perhaps die cuts of fresh flowers. Do I have it on my desk? I've been working with a die pack I really like, and oh, here it is. It is the Grow with Love from Graphic 45, but this is kind of a squirrel moment, but the florals on it are really quite good if you like their style. Like here's the arch one. It's very vibrant and looks like an actual flower, which is nice. I made my mom a bunch of. Well, the long story is I made my aunt a bunch of Easter cards with some of the Bitty Penny paper and some of the May Made It scriptural stamps, and my mother was like said something very tactful about perhaps we could make ones that are more spring-like in nature. Anyway, we will see. And then I got a swap card from Cindy's swap. Sorry, CC's swap and Cindy's swap, but we will see what this is. The theme was Oh, wow. This is cute. And I say that as someone who have mixed feelings about house mice. Um, the stamps are cute. The ones that are actually here are not. The coloring on this, however, is fantastic, and the raindrops are really nice. Just really nicely done. And this is a good one. So this is a really good technique. So you can basically flat color something, and then you can come in with then you can come in and just add some lines over the top to give a little more definition. Because fur is hard. Let me see if I can bring this. Are we gonna focus? There we go. Lovely card, though. I am quite happy about that. That is cute. There may be a message in this. This day was handpicked for you. Yes, I'm guessing that it represents spring showers, perhaps April ones, which bring upon the flowers. But very cool. Oh, hey, Cordelia, how are you? And we have, I picked this was in a scrapbook.com bundle, but I'm really feeling spring. So I pulled this. I guess I'll spoil the surprise. So I got a request to perhaps work with Papa Smurf. So I did a little coloring earlier so that we wouldn't have to do it live. And we may use this one. There is a Hey Big Papa sentiment. I'm thinking I might pull in something a little more spring-like. We'll see where we go with this. Happy Spring might be nice too. I'm thinking of doing a very springy card. But we should probably talk about what the craft roulette parameters are because I didn't actually mention those. Oh, and there's a companion stamp set with this. Let me grab it. Just so, in case we want other Smurfy things. And this one has a few sentiments. I'm still thinking spring is where I'm going to go with this. But it does have the whole, like, mushroom house if you want to do a whole scene, which I probably should do at some point. Anyway. That is that. So so the parameters this week for Craft Roulette are a card with more than one fold. Sorry, two or more folds, technically. Oh, I'll talk about the coloring in a second. But two or more folds. Oh, the one with his mouth open? So we have... I'm not sure which Smurf this is. So we have Gargamel, Smurfette, Azrael, and another Smurf. I'll have to figure that one out. That one I don't remember. Because it looks like the Smurf is wearing a dress. So maybe it's another Smurfette. Anyway. And then we have Vanity Smurf, Brainy, and another one. I think this is just sort of a generic Smurf. But anyway, we have but basically they're all the classic ones from the cartoon, which are pretty awesome. The blue. Your banner blocks the blue. Oh, did I have something up? Maybe it does. Hmm. What was the other one? Oh. Don't Be Blue is the other one. And then things will get better. That's a nice sentiment too. Anyway. That is that. But I was thinking I wanted to do a Spring Papa Smurf card because it's spring. Our colors are jelly bean for this week, which means practically anything. Let me The cat is nice, but I will have to do that. We should do a Gargamel one because Gargamel and Azrael. If you remember the cartoon, they had sort of that sort of villain and henchman dynamic that is always kind of fun. So we should do another one with them. There's a lot of cool stuff we could do. And I don't think it's a spoiler because it's up on their website. Crafty Stamp Co. actually is doing a release with comic book like thought bubbles. Spellbinders also just released that cool die set Shannon was playing with a couple of weeks ago that has conversational bubbles. And if you have other stamp sets, I know Catherine Pooler did a conversation bubble too, but I think it would be fun to do, use these characters and then do conversation bubbles. And in theory, you could also use something like the stamp wheel or any sticky mat to actually reverse these. So if you wanted, like obviously, like Gargamel's going in a direction, but you can actually flip them using a stamp wheel. Same with Azrael, but but you have him I think you have. The Smurfs are really running away from him, so I guess you just sort of have him going after the Smurfs. Anyway, where was I? Oh, and math is the element, and Papa Smurf certainly does a lot of math, and because he does both construction and potions and management of all the Smurfs. I don't know if he actually had like a job per se in the cartoon. I remember him like making a lot of potions and doing a lot of like research of things. So I guess it was sort of like an potion maker historian kind of role. Anyway, I should rewatch it because I haven't watched a lot of it in a while. But I was thinking that since we have a lot of red and blue going on, like something like this green would really kind of make it pop. And since we've already knocked out 2 of the parameters, I thought that what we could basically do is make a Z-fold, but we probably want to figure out the other thing we could do is, if you want to do something a little more fancy, is I do have a flip it die that will fit Papa Smurf, barely. But I'm kind of thinking spring. But if we want to do a fancier card, let me know. Anyway, I think I need a card base. I think I want a neutral, I think, because I really like the way this color palette works. Although I could use a muted yellow because that's in here. But I like the idea of like using this as sort of a Z-fold. Let me grab I forget, muted yellow, whose name I don't remember. Oh, there's a piece on the floor. That's convenient. Isn't it nice when your cats like prep craft supplies for you? Anyway, this is crushed curry, I think. But I think that would like nicely work. And I did color him slightly muted. So he's mostly colored with B32, which is pale blue, and then this is carmine, I think. Yeah, R35 if you're a Copic person. But sort of the standard red you'd probably do is like a red in the teens, essentially. I want to say either the teens or the 20s, I think. I think there's like a lipstick red, which I couldn't find because I don't organize my markers competently. But there are, I think this, yeah, so I think it's R27. Oh, that's a red violet. I think one of the R20s is lipstick red, which is like a straight up like primary red. Anyway, I actually kind of like how this looks. So let me make a card base because that would be a good place to start. Then we can figure out what kind of panel we want to do. I kind of want to do something a little fancier than just, a standard Z-fold. But I could also change my mind on that. So I basically just want to cut this in half. Let me catch up on your comments when I remember which way my paper cutter should go. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know they had a photopolymer reversal mat. That's a really cool thing. There are. They have lots of flowers. That's a good point. Anyway, let me cut this down and then score it, and we can get the most of our Z fold done. And I really liked how the Craft Roulette guest this week, whose name escapes me, although Paula probably remembers, decorated the backside of the Z fold, which I generally don't do. So I think we can do that because we sure have plenty of paper. So I'm going to score this at our usual 4 1/4, and then not remember what 4 1/4 is. Then 2 1/8 is the other. I guess it doesn't really matter which way we do this, but 2 1/8 is the one I never remember. Although even if you mess this up, you can always kind of cheat and just cut off any excess. Although this looks pretty good, so we may not have to cheat today. Let me find a bone folder, which is right here conveniently. Just probably need a. I have some white. Probably need a. We may or may not want to do a mat here, depending on what we do with our panel. Let me just. Ooh. So the backside of this flower is this like grass, which kind of would make him be in the Smurfland, but it's not. The other grass I was looking at before was not very whimsical. So what do I want to do? I want to cut this to 5 1/4. I am going to save these strips in case I want them, because like this would be a really neat strip to potentially use with Mr. Smurf. Because once we cut a panel, we could use it like that. So we may do that. I may change my mind on this whole. Maybe we shouldn't do a complicated thing. So anyway, I want to do not 2 1/8, but 1 7/8, so that I wind up with a 1/4 inch margin everywhere, which means we can get 2 out of here if we want. But I'm thinking we will cut up another panel and do the same thing. Okay, so I think I'm going to like this. This leaves us what? This leaves us 2 1/4. So we could do 2 1/2 by whatever as a, and we could use this also as I may save this and use this as sort of the the mat for whatever we wind up doing. I do like that. I think that's going to look pretty nice. Or I could bring in more of the yellow. That might be smarter to kind of keep with the theme. What am I? Oh, thanks, Paula. Just catching up on chat to see what I am missing. Not too much. That's good. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. And I do like the idea of hiding something on the back. So let me grab another sheet of this. We could do green, or we could do something totally different. I definitely want something with some green. The florals would work okay, but I think I just want another piece of this green. But I think I'm going to use the flower as our, like, the hidden panel. And then we can just cut off a 1/4 inch and then make 2 more panels at 1 7/8. I'll be using 1/8 of an inch on a Sunday. It's always slightly a challenge. Okay, there's that. This does give us a little extra if we want to make a we want to do like a little banner or something. We'll see. See about that one. I think we can get the flowers and the grass down and then figure out what we want to do with the rest of our card. Which might be a bad idea, but we'll see. We'll find out in about 15 minutes if this was smart or not. There seems to be drama on Planet Kitty for some reason. Although oddly, it doesn't usually come across on the mic. There we go. We have our grass, and then we're gonna fold and oh, these are great because they're not directional, so I probably will not screw it up. Which is always good. We don't need like extra stress on a Sunday night. I kind of like the red flowers up, so that's what I'm gonna do. Trying to be kind of mindful of my score lines because I still want this card to actually, fold flat so that I can mail it and other things of that nature. And then since I did the flowers up on that one, I'm just going to mirror it here. So I do think this makes it look more finished. And then we could decide if we want, we could just put a white piece on the back and actually, either use either use the grass or something else to kind of continue the look here. We'll see what we want to do. I think I'm going to get my panel together. I want to give him a little bit of breathing space. And the other thing I can do potentially is look for it. I could do this with a die. Although the largest die I have is a circle that's kind of like this. And this felt a little too claustrophobic for me. So I think I'm just going to eyeball it with a paper trimmer. And lose my paper in the process. So I want to give him some breathing room, I think. Oops. There we go. Helps when you cut things all the way. So I think that's pretty good. Let's see what that would be. So 3 inches, I think works pretty well. We'll see. He's a little off to the side, and so I'm going to go. I'm going to be careful because that looks about maybe like a hair. Let's take a 16th off and see how we feel. I feel like there's like a hair more on this side. Let me take off an 1/8, then I can at least be like a semi. Okay, I like that. That looks good. I don't think we need a lot of sky. We could potentially, I guess we'll have to figure out. I probably cut this too small for, oh no. Happy Spring fits very nicely here. I do like that. But I'd probably put it over. I think Happy Spring over his head makes more sense. Just sort of like balance the distance. I think there's enough room because it's super tiny. But I do kind of want to. Like your cat's afoot. I guess what I could do is glue down this piece. I could glue down the grass and then cut it. I think that's a pretty good idea. And I might bring in a little. What on earth is going on? Hmm. Oh, the cat's trying to get into the closet. Okay. So I want to at least leave some space for some grass. But I think it. Excuse me, one moment. Let me convince him not to get in kicked out. Like all good children, as soon as I came to see what he was up to, he was no longer up to it. Oh, hey, Pam. How are you? Welcome. I hope you are well. I'm actually making a yellow card. Maybe that's how it works. Like, all I need to do is craft with yellow and Pam will appear. So let me glue this down and then try and figure out what I'm doing. And try and glue the grass on right side up. Although I suppose we could just claim it's a whimsical card. That's not the way. That's not the direction. There we go. I like that better. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. There we are. And I think I can find out where I put my scissors and just clip that off. And we can, I think, conveniently, there is yellow ink here, and there's an itty bitty little flower stamp on this stamp set. So I think we can bring in a little bit of. There we go. I think we can bring in a little bit of the yellow into this scene. We'll see if that works out. Who knows? I think I can just cut this maybe, or if not, there we go. That worked pretty well, as well as I would want. Let me just trim off a little bit. I think we're okay. There we go. Now what I'm thinking is I have this itty bitty flower that it would be kind of fun to do like a less realistic background, shall we say? Because normally I'd like to bring in a little bit of blue to ink blend, but I don't want to like make Papa Smurf less the focus. But what I'm basically going to do is put him on another piece, and then he'll be like that, and then we can decide if we want to do a pattern here or not. We can't just put a white piece in, which is what I might do. Well, we will use yellow. I was thinking I have this glitz with a Catherine Pooler color, which I want to see what color it is because I don't remember, and I don't really trust what colors they put on ink pads. But since I have a block here, actually I'll go here so I can see what I'm doing. Here we go. I think this will be a pretty close match to the paper. Not through any planning, but just accidentally. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay, I'm liking this idea. We'll see. This might make this kind of overly busy, but I'm just going to do a little random stamping. And usually when I randomly stamp, I try to... I kind of like this, actually. Sort of do a pattern, but not completely. And you can kind of stamp off to sort of give people the illusion that the pattern continues, even though there is no pattern. So, like, I could put one here and then go, like, and say, okay, well, there's probably going to be one there that looks like that. I kind of like that, actually. Would I like it better with one there? No. Well, maybe what I can do is just do the two thingies there. There we go. That didn't really stamp that well. Oh well. In any event, I think this will be nice because then once we can mat it on some of our remaining paper, and then I think you'll really kind of get it'll all be kind of cohesive. Anyway, I don't know what size that is anymore, so I can I could measure it. There's an idea. So I probably need 3.5 by about 3. And then, well, we can look at that. Hello. Lennox says hello. He's on the ground. I think I said 3.5 by 3. We'll see. Does that make sense? If we do like no, that is 3.5 would be. I can probably just I can just dry fit this on here, and I think that'll be about right. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. Except I totally forgot about my sentiment, so I guess we'll put it on. I guess we'll do a white panel and put the sentiment on the panel, or just go with a no sentiment card. Anyway, I feel like this would also be a good chance to like break out my Cricut and make like some sort of very Smurf specific sentiment. So let's see how we're doing. That's pretty good. We could actually mount him higher if we wanted to use a die cut. Do I have any die cut? No, wait, I have a Happy Spring die cut that's yellow. That might work. Let's check this out. Actually, it says springtime. Springtime isn't really a sentiment, but we could float it or attach it, which would look kind of cool. You could attach it like this. I guess I don't really like that as much. I'll see if there's other ones in here that I haven't used. Nah. Yeah, I don't like any of them. I may leave this. I don't know that this inherently needs a sentiment, though. So I may leave it without. And then I think I would like to put a white piece here, I think. Because we have our little detail here. I don't really... But we might want to... I wonder if we could, like... We could also pull in some blue on that piece, but let's make an inside panel. Let's cap our glue before I totally forget about it. It is a Smurfy day. That would be a good one. I should see if I can. Maybe I'll leave this without, and I should see if I can. Well, I shouldn't see. I'm like, I definitely can, but that would be. I should see if that's. Maybe we could use. Let's see what. Let's just look at the stamp sets again, and we have. Yeah, I guess none of them directly reference Smurfs, probably because they're not, not officially licensed. But you could definitely you could definitely use crickets or skin and cuts or other things to make a Smurf specific sentiment. Yeah, I think I kind of like the simplified color palette. I don't think. What would this look like if we did? So, like, if we put, if we put pattern on the inside. I don't know. I don't like it as much with the pattern on the inside because this is kind of a busy pattern, and we put patterns all over there. Anyway, I think I'll go with white today. But you definitely could go with a pattern if that's kind of your jam. Get that stuck down, and then just kind of eyeball remember which half of the which half of your like focal point. And I tend to like to use a lot of adhesive for this, just so that it doesn't get messed up. But remember which part of your focal point you put or should put an adhesive on, because I've done it wrong a few times. But once this is down, it's going to be down. But luckily, the pattern paper makes it a little easier to line up. It doesn't make it any easier to sort of eyeball spacing, which I often find tricky. Although if I was more of a professional than I am, I probably would utilize either a T-square or one of those fancy rulers. Ooh, I like this card. This is happy. This is a happy spring card. And then we have our little hidden place here too that we could do something with. And obviously we could also let's put a little. I kind of want to put a little something on the inside. Oh well, I don't know. I think I'll leave it as is, and then I'll see if I can make a sentiment at some point in the future, or I'll get. Oh, let me see what you said. Oh, I missed what we were chit chatting about. You could say have a Smurfy day. Oh, that's a good idea, Paul. I like that. We could continue this pattern on the right. That would be nice. I think that would visually balance it a lot more. Okay, good idea. Let's do that. And I really like this ink color. I think I bought it for my crop last year, actually. But I think we can. I'm not going to do it off the edge, but I think I will continue the zigzag. I do like this little flower, though. I'll have to remember it because it would be good for the stamp wheel demo I'm supposed to do in 2 weeks. Actually, I want one more at the bottom, I think. There we go. Oh, I like that. Good idea, Paula. Thank you. Actually, we'll do, if we can't be, well, it didn't quite work out. But since the white's higher, if I was careful, I could basically still stamp off without, getting it all over the edge of the card. But anyway, I think that is our Smurfy card for today. I am very much liking how it came out, and not just because I'm ready for spring. And like, this is a stealth card too. Oh, sorry, I left your comment off. I'm probably driving Pam nuts about that. But like, you could put like a sentiment here, and just people would think it would be a normal card, and then you'd be like, ooh, surprise. But anyway, that is our card for tonight. I don't think anything too special is going on this week that comes to mind, at least for me. There are going to be a bunch of Crafty Stamp Co. videos in early April, and other than that, I don't think I have much more to tell you. Good seeing Pam, good seeing Blossom, and all of our friends. I'm trying for Cordelia and Jim and D I miss. Hello D. I didn't see you pop in. I should really rewatch all the comments to see who shows up. And Glow is here, and I think that's pretty much everyone. And Shanna before she went off to play with the kiddos. And Laurie, of course. Anyway, good to see you guys. I will see you next weekend. I don't know if I'm streaming the 6th, but I'll let you know via a post. That's the weekend of my crop, but it usually breaks up early, so I think I was back home by 4 or 5 o'clock last year, so that would give me plenty of time. But that stream might turn into more of a talking about the crop, but that was fun last year to look at all the things. Oh, have you? Well, feel free to be in stealth mode. Feel free to throw me on in the background and do other things, because that is what I often do with streams. But anyway, great talking to you guys. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening and a great week. See you later. If I can remember how to end the stream, because StreamYard makes it hard now. Anyway, talk to you later, guys. Have a good one.